Section 4. Be cooperative with yourselves. You just did. So, how was travel in time feels? It's all exists in your mind, within your inner walls. Amazing, right? How time and space exist within you, all along. You might now full of wonder with what you've experienced from your time travel, such as what was actually happened with me, like what are these names, who are these names. I've never realized they are exist within me, and I might never realize some feelings that I've experienced in that time travel experience. Congratulations, you just did your self-hypnosis, and know that it's not just one solution for the whole self-healing you have. You still have another memories that you need to unfold, and you can kindly back to that guided meditation wherever you need. Your wonder is acceptable, it's all valid, it's all real, it's all you. And yeah, it might be surprised whenever you access your theta state, because it can access like a deep state of mind, not just from the surface level or in our conscious state. What you just experienced is that you are actually accessing time and space. It's all exists within you, and now you realize how it really is, right? What you need to know is that time holds memories and space holds energy. So whenever you come back to time, it has its own memories you can access everywhere. Because there is clock, so that you can measure the duration of time through linear terms, such as we got future and past. But time is actually infinite, just as space, and time is parallel. That's why you can jump to another timeline and rewrite a new timeline. By rewriting your new timelines, you actually tapping energy. That's why you feel certain emotion that resonate with the story you have at that time. So moment by moment, you are actually rewriting your story by new experience. And what you do in time travel is you rewriting your story at subconscious level, at a deeper level of you, which is it's so powerful to affect your present reality in eternal now. For some people, the effects might take time, or it needs repetition to notice the renewed story, the rewritten story that you has told your younger self, that you wish to see in your future. And you might also wonder what all these names came from. That's the same question that I've asked myself. There are so many layers to answer this question. The deeper I dove into myself, the deeper I found the deeper answer as well. At first, I thought it was my ego cells came from the random data you have in your subconscious. But if you dig deeper into it, you will find that those names are valid. They are another use. They exist in another, can be in another lifetime. It can be in another universe. It can be, like we are living in multiverse, so every possibility can happen. Who knows the right answers, right? We are all learners, even the universe, the source itself. And in this section, I will teach you how to be cooperative with yourselves. That you can call it ego self, you can call it your multidimensional selves, your past lives, your universes, or whatever it is, as you please. The point is always about the essence. You might feel like sometimes they're unfolding suppressed emotion you feel, but in your conscious state, you're actually having deadlines or activities or schedule that you need to accomplish or fulfill. And most of questions that came to me were how to make them cooperative with one another, because they truly believe that everything is divine instrument for our highest good. And the answer is simply is to allow them to be cooperative. For example, if today you wake up feeling low, but at the same time, you need to finish your deadline. Having a healthy communication, discussion. Imagine there are a child that bring its message to you, but at the same time, you are a mature version of you that can reparent them. It's about the healthy relationship you build with all of your divine instruments. And if you already know how to be cooperative with your inner child, how to also be cooperative with your inner mature, so that you can combine both sides in your physical reality. It helps a lot whenever you face something, whenever people you interact with unfolding their suppressed emotion and you clearly see in them, but you want to point a finger onto their subconscious right away, right? Because they will clearly immediately reject your finger. They will blame it back onto you. But once you know how to treat your inner child, how to be cooperative with it, how to be a good parent for your inner child, then you naturally can be a good reparent for others that shows their suppressed inner child and help them cope with your new reparent, help them reparent themselves. That will naturally plant seeds for them to do their inner work themselves. We are constantly triggering each other, and trigger is medicine actually. Your mess is your message. Your triggers are your cures. Remember that your self-talk is your communion with your multidimensional selves, including your inner child. Simply by talk to them, have a healthy communication, set the clear boundaries. What do you want them to be? What do you don't want them to be? But still embrace their emotion or message they deliver onto you, until you finally meet the solution for each other. That's where the inner alchemy were born and trained over and over again. Now you know your inner practice. Each people, each case each emotion has different ways, so I don't want to pave your path like you have to do this. No, I just give you the blueprint, give you the core foundation of my trail, and it's back at you to continue your own journey in your own way. I used to think that every inner child need hugs, need understanding. I've learned from my experience that not every inner child need that actually. It depends on the needs they have at that point. That's why we're experiencing life with all of the fluctuation, and our journey is to keep adjusting into the puzzles missing to unleash its fullest power we already possess. Hope this helpful. Let's continue to the section 5.